Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Essential Career Skills. This is session 2 of our Essential Career Skills series. This is series 3, so 24-25. So we'll be covering self-awareness today. So before we begin, let me introduce what this series is about, what Essential Career Skills primarily means for all of you. The intention of Essential Career Skills is to become career ready. So what does that exactly mean? So according to the National Association of Colleges, career readiness is a foundation where you demonstrate core competencies that broadly prepare college-educated people for success when they enter careers. And when we say career readiness, it's really just a new form of a career currency, and it is intended for college graduates to ensure success when they enter the workforce. So some of the areas that we can achieve career readiness, at least through Purdue, there are 3 main areas. Rigorous academic preparation, so that's kind of what you're doing in classes, in your coursework, in your labs. These things will provide you with discipline and career-specific skills, and from these experiences, you'll then be ready for your careers. On top of that, for opportunity knowledge, this is more of what we're doing right now. These are things that are outside of your coursework. Things like extracurricular activities that you learn more about that aren't part of your coursework. And third, personal agency, that's combining your skills that you've learned through your courses and also outside of courses and combining it into practice. So putting that into, say, like a personal project, doing some research, doing your own work. So it's more of like a holistic combination of all the skills. So when we talk about lead competencies, this is also some of an area that we focus on in providing you with experiences when you go out into the workforce. So some of the 4 areas that we focus on is communication, self-awareness, collaboration, and ways of thinking. So today we're covering self-awareness. This is because of the 4 areas that Purdue kind of sets out, that their goal is to create students that are communicators, collaborators, self-aware, and thinkers, so that when you enter the workforce, we're that step above. So what does self-awareness entail? There's really just 5 main areas that we look at. It's continuous learning, initiative, and follow-through, personal responsibility, resilience, and self-understanding. So tonight's speaker is Ashley. And Ashley, and I'll introduce her before she comes on stage to give her talk. So Ashley is originally from the suburbs of Chicago and graduated from Purdue in May 2022. And she was majoring in chemical engineering with a minor in environmental politics and policy. During her time at Purdue, she was most notably involved with the student organization FACT, or the Feminist Action Coalition for Today. She currently lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, and works in the world of Sharpies. So you've handled a Sharpie, most of you probably will have encountered her work. She works as a sourcing engineer for Newell Brands, supporting procurement of raw materials that go into the well-known household consumer brands such as Sharpie, Papermate, Yankee Candle, and Rubbermaid, and etc. Additionally, she is an active member of the Society of Women Engineers. Outside of work, she loves music, live music specifically, Purdue basketball, and watching her NFL team lose. Go Bears. So, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Ashley.
Hey everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, Jesus, for inviting me. I'm super happy to be back on campus. I come out here like at least once a year for recruiting for my job. Ooh, that's the wrong way. Oh, wrong way. This way. For my job. But always happy to come back to campus and kind of support stuff like this. So As Jerry mentioned, we're covering self-awareness today, so self-awareness, Ashley's version, that's me. I'll start with a reintroduction. I'm Ashley. As Jerry mentioned, I got my degree in chemical engineering, graduated in 2022. I currently work as a sourcing engineer for Newell Brands, so large Fortune 500 consumer goods company. I primarily support Sharpie and Papermate, Prismacolor, and Ball Jar, which is out of Muncie, Indiana, and Fishers, Indiana. Fun facts, okay, I'm from Chicago, and I used to work in this building, actually. I worked here at an on-the-go location, secret on-the-go location. It was only around for 1 year during COVID, and then it closed. So, but I did used to work in here, so big, like full circle moment. And I had 7 Halloween costumes this year. Thought that was a fun fact. I love Halloween. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. Why is self-awareness important? Also, feel free, this is a question to you, but feel free to stop me at any point, ask me any questions, whatever. So, anyone, why is self-awareness important? Why do you think this would be important for your career?
Self-awareness is how we can grow in every area, so that I guess it also affects your career, because if you're not aware of where you're lacking, you can't really improve upon that.
Right, yeah, so looking at what are your strengths, what are you not so good at, and where can you develop in your career? Good answer. Okay. So I thought I would define self-awareness and then kind of go over the lead competencies as well. So self-awareness is the ability to take an honest look at your life, a step back, for good or for bad, and see where are you good, where are you bad, what do you like, what do you not like, and that's about it. Okay, lead competencies: continuous learning, initiative and follow through, personal responsibility, resiliency, and self-understanding. So that's kind of a lot of topics, so I thought I would cover continuous learning tied to self-understanding, and then we'll touch on resiliency at the end here. Okay, so starting with self-understanding and continuous learning, I thought I would start out with telling you about my career journey. So graduated from Purdue in 2022, and I decided to join a rotational program. This was a 2-year program with 3 8-month rotations. Why did I do this? I had no idea what I wanted to do when I graduated college. When I was at my senior year, I was like, I know that I kind of don't want to do a traditional chemical engineering role. So that when I say that, I think working at a plant, supporting like big reactors, et cetera, et cetera. But I knew that I kind of wanted to work a bit more business-facing role, but I wanted to still have some technical connection. So I had no idea what I wanted to do, so I only applied to these rotational programs. Do we have any seniors in the room? Juniors? Sophomores? And freshmen? Cool. Okay, that's good for me to know. Okay, so my first rotation, I moved from Chicago to Charlotte, North Carolina. It was a pretty far trek, it's a 16-hour drive, to support, to be a sourcing analyst for the resins part of our team. So this was a more business-facing analytical role. And then I moved into my second rotation as a continuous improvement analyst in Maryville, Tennessee, which is where the Sharpie plant is located. So I worked on Sharpies, Papermate, and Elmer's glue. And then my third rotation, I took the trek back to Charlotte, North Carolina, to be a sourcing engineer on chemicals. And in this role, I was able to support both manufacturing functions as well as your traditional analyst functions and support the business more so. Upon the graduation of my program, I decided that this was the job for me. This is something that fit all of my career goals, and I was promoted to sourcing engineer, so earlier this year. Fun fact, this is the longest I've lived in a place since I graduated college. I just hit my 1-year anniversary living in Charlotte, so I'm super stoked about that. Okay, why the heck am I talking about career journey? Besides just to tell you all this stuff, I promise this all ties together. Genshi Genbutsu. What the heck is that? What is she saying to me? Genshi Genbutsu is a Japanese term that literally translates to go and see for yourself. This is a term that was coined by Taiichi Ono, and it is an important principle of the Toyota production system model. This is a lean manufacturing continuous improvement term that I learned in my career, and I use this every single day. So using lean manufacturing to identify problems and opportunities, and I listed all of the typical steps. So you go to the source, you go to the issue, go to the source, observe, collect data, analyze and then find a solution for your problem, implement it, evaluate if that worked, and then do it all again and make it better. I use this all the time in my job. Whenever there's a problem given to me, I say, okay, for example, when I worked at the plant, someone would come up to me and be like, Ashley, there's a quality issue on the line. Okay. Operator X says this is the problem. Operator Y says it's this problem. Operator Z says it's a combination of everything, right? And the best way that I found for me to solve a problem is to go to the source myself, see on the line, hey, like, this is out of spec, or like this setting on the machine is wrong, and that is the actual issue here. So once again, why the heck am I talking about this? So I have the breakdown here. Genba, go to the real place. Genbutsu, see the real thing. Genjitsu, observe the real facts. Go and see for yourself. So, continuous learning. Why the heck am I talking about this? My suggestion is to Genshi Genbutsu your career. So I went ahead and I put all of this stuff up here because I think that the best way for me to have developed throughout my career is to go and see for myself what I thought I was strong at. And that involved me getting really uncomfortable. I moved to all these new cities that I knew no one in, and learned a bunch of new job functions at the same time, right? So, for example, in my analyst role, I had to learn a analytical modeling software called Power BI, and I did not know how to use that. I really did not. So part of what I did was go and pursue education and workshops about how to use Power BI. And if I hadn't done my analyst role, I probably would have never done that, right? And I probably wouldn't know how to analyze like these specific big swaths of data and what our business was asking for in terms of modeling. In addition, I worked on a plant floor, and this was actually a very difficult rotation for me specifically because I had not imagined myself working in like a manufacturing function. And some of the things that I would have to do is like be sent out to assembly machines that I did not know how to work, right? But I would spend time at the machine from start to finish, understanding, that the machine works this certain way, or these sensors work this certain way, and it was a fantastic experience. So throughout this time, I asked myself, I asked myself these questions. What do you like? What do I not like? What are my strengths? What else do I want to learn? And who can I ask for advice? So I'd sit there and I'd be like, okay, well, I know that I do not like working on data specifically day in, day out, because one of my strengths is interfacing with people and developing relationships, talking about problems. That's something I loved doing. I'm a yapper. I love to talk. And I learned that I really like supporting business function, but I love being able to support technical projects. And that's something I can do in my current role, and I would not have found that out unless I had tried it, right? What else do I want to learn? I made sure to choose a role, my current role, that would allow me to grow and learn new things. So there are definitely areas for me to develop that I think like this job currently is something that I'm able to develop in. I'm able to learn more about supplier relationships, which is something I do every day, but how to talk to suppliers, for example, and how to maintain a good supplier relationship, for example. Who can I ask for advice? I think this is a great question, right? Mentorship is very, very important if you don't know what the heck you want to do. Asking people who have experience in certain fields, or if you have a certain worry, this is a super important thing. So throughout my time at my job, I've been able to ask a lot of folks who've previously been a part of my rotational program for advice and how they found out what jobs they wanted to do. And that's something you can do too as a student, which brings me to my next thing. So I'm talking about my career here, and I'm telling you like, hey, do a rotational program. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you all that there is a lot of opportunity if you let yourself go and try new things and learn these things about yourself. And so I put up all these pictures because I think that a lot of these things I was able to learn during my time at Purdue as well. So I was very heavily involved in a student organization called the Feminist Action Coalition for Today. And this was a fantastic experience. When I joined the club, there was one person in it. But during my time, and that was very difficult. A lot of the folks who were involved in the club, like none of us had ever had run a student org before, and we had to kind of build our club from ground up and host all these big events and learn how to do all this stuff. But being involved, in fact, gave me a wealth of opportunity and had me learn like a wealth of things about myself, right? I was the president of the student organization my senior year, and I learned that I really love leadership, and I really love interfacing with, at the time, other students to hear about what was important to them. So FACT was a social justice club, and being able to talk to a lot of folks about what got them activated was something that really made me feel great and made me feel fulfilled. And that's something that I carried over to my career, where I get to work with a lot of folks and I get to hear, what is important to them, what are your main priorities, etc. So, tour of the pictures. Wait, is there a laser pointer? Is it this way? Ah. So this was, I think, our first tabling event that we ever did. Very homemade. It's really cute, actually. And I remember when we tabled, I was like, I really hope people will join this club, honestly. Like, there's really not that many of us. We need some folks to join. And I think by the end of our time at Purdue, or my time at Purdue, we had a pretty big group that would regularly attend our meetings, and we were actually able to plan these two big events, which were Take Back the Night, march and vigil to support survivors of sexual violence, and I was very, very proud of this. We had it was fantastic, and I learned so much, right, about what it means to plan an event like this, to bring a speaker in, to have all these folks come. And then, so this is from a Women in Leadership Institute. Do you guys know when it is?
March 1st.
March 1st. Okay, you guys should sign up for that. But I remember this was 2019, my sophomore year of college. I'm wearing the same pants in this, by the way. I realized that when I put this together. This was in 2019, and we attended. And then later on in my college career, we were able to be on the committee to plan Women in Leadership Institute. So that was a fantastic experience, and once again, I learned so much about myself and what it means to put something together and work with a lot of folks. And then this last one is just cleaning up the Wabash. So it's a volunteer day. So that is all to say that there's opportunity to learn about what you want and what you like as a student too. And heavily encouraged to get involved with things that interest you, right? It don't have to be, I'm not telling you to go, start a club from ground up, but do things that are of interest to you. You won't know until you try. Okay, so we're gonna do an activity relating to continuous learning. Do you need help passing that out? So I just wanted to talk about why this is important, why continuous learning and development is important beyond, the selection of your career. So in terms of your actual career, this makes you a more adaptable candidate, right? I come from the corporate world, so things change all the time. Your leadership changes, your teams change, the people you work with change, and being able to learn and kind of roll with the punches just makes you a better candidate. Things are always in flux, right? And that's something that you kind of have to be able to move along with. New career opportunities. So being able to develop more skills makes you a better candidate, right? And that goes with market competitiveness too. So for example, if you are a supply chain major and you're really, really interested in coding, like Python, being able to do that makes you just a better candidate, depending on what you want. If you find out you really like coding, for example, you have more opportunity. There's more room for you to grow in any career. Cultivate self-understanding. So being able to continue to learn and continue to develop just helps you understand yourself better, and it'll help you make choices that will benefit you personally more, right? One of the factors that I think a lot of people also factor in is where you live, right? I live in Charlotte, and it's a mid-sized city that I love to live in. A bigger city, I probably wouldn't be too happy, but a little bit smaller, I probably wouldn't be too happy either. So that is something to, if you know that about yourself, that'll help you with the decisions you make in general. Improve yourself and others. I really like this one. So being able to learn is great, but being able to impart this knowledge on other folks, great feeling, right? I love being able to teach someone about something, teach something to someone, and do something like this later on in my career, right? And then I thought this little picture was cute. I know you're really busy right now, but when you have a chance, I'd love to pick your brain about how you got here. Okay, here's the how. How do you continue to learn? Beyond, the Genshi Genbutsu, formal education, which is what everyone here is doing, but that can include later in your career, a further degree, a master's at that is something that you're interested in. Lean on your community as you continue to learn. Who can you ask for mentorship, advice, feedback? If you know anyone that's doing a career that you're particularly interested in, you can ask them, right? Purdue's great because there are a lot of alumni that you can ask anything to, and just look them up on LinkedIn, Purdue, and then the job title, and you can find someone, reach out to them, and that can potentially even get you a job. So, but just in terms of mentorship, being able to ask someone and rely on someone and lean on someone is something that I think is really, really important. And if anyone is interested in rotational program, chemical engineering, or anything, you can definitely reach out to me. I'll have my email at the end. Utilize your resources. So I put LinkedIn learnings, attend seminars like this, attend workshops and conferences. So I'm saying this because these are all things that I do today. I watch LinkedIn learnings about topics I'm interested in. I attend seminars about things I'm interested in. And I recently attended the Society of Women Engineers conference in Chicago this year, And I was able to attend a bunch of all of these professionalism workshops and sessions, and they were incredibly interesting and important to me. So I'd highly encourage you to pursue these types of things that interest you. Genchi Genbutsu, go and see for yourself, go and try new things. I don't even mean just for your career. If you want to learn how to play guitar, go try, right? And then you'll figure out whether or not you're really bad or really good. And the last thing, don't be afraid to be bad. That's something I kind of struggle with, and I'm going to get into that. But when you're trying and learning new things, you're not going to be good at it the first time you do it, right? You got to develop your skills. So this leads me into my next topic: continuous learning, imposter syndrome, and resiliency. Oh my. So I want to talk about imposter syndrome because this is something that I definitely have struggled with myself, especially as it pertains to learning something new that I'm not immediately good at when I try to do it. I recently learned how to crochet. Well, I was trying to teach myself how to crochet, and I threw everything across. I was sweating. I'm not good at crocheting, it turns out, and I gave up. But that's a small example, right? But it is difficult to learn new things, is what I'll say, at least for myself. And being able to manage through that is something that I've had to learn. So imposter syndrome, I'm sure everyone is familiar with. It's this feeling that you're not qualified or you're going to be found out, even though you have this breadth of evidence that you're actually very qualified and good at something. I put all this up here as examples. So down here, the assumption is what I know is really small and what I think others know, but what others know and what I know are actually equal. And this is really blurry, but it says all these people really seem to have it together and I still have no idea what is going on. This is all pertinent, right? It takes time to learn something new. And the thing that has gotten me through this type of hump, through understanding myself and continuous learning, is figuring out that learning is a tool, not an obstacle. This isn't something that I'm going to be good at today. When I was learning how to do, I'm trying to think of an example, calculus for the first time, it didn't necessarily come easy to me, right? It took practice. And that is just something that you have to know. This doesn't make you worse of a professional if you don't know how to send the perfect email, if you don't know how to send if you send an email that's has a lot of typos in it or it goes to the wrong person, nothing I would have done. But this is just something, it's just another path for learning. Okay, so this brings us to the next activity. And this is about overcoming a major challenge in your life. Okay. All right, I'm gonna ask again, does anyone want to share what they've written? It's okay if not, I'll share myself. Okay, so this activity is great because I think my favorite question on here is number 2, who comforted and encouraged you. It's great to have and understand you do have some people in your corner when you failed. So I'll share a little bit about my answer to this question. It actually happened during my time at Purdue. A time I was able to overcome a major challenge. I failed this class when I was at Purdue. It was my sophomore year. It was the Intro to Chemical Engineering. Man, that's a kind of bad class to fail, you know what I mean? And I had all these thoughts, right? I was like, man, I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna get my degree. And so the action I took to make things better was to lean on my friends and my family and kind of be like, hey, really messed up, man. This kind of sucks. And I had plenty of friends and family we're like, Ashley, like this is just one setback, and it's not, the world's not gonna end, and you're gonna be just fine. But of course, like these inner thoughts are like, you're an imposter, like you have no, you shouldn't be getting this, you're never gonna finish college, all this stuff. FYI, you can actually, from the past, you can retake a class, like that's something you can do. I was like, I'm never gonna get a job. And the personal strength that I drew upon was the courage to keep going, even though it was hard, man. And to believe that, this one setback wasn't gonna set me back forever, right? Like there is a path forward. And to have the courage to say, hey, maybe I should have worked a little bit harder in this class. Maybe I should have reached out and leaned on more folks who were in the same classes as me, and try and work with them and understand like what I wasn't getting, and go to office hours, that type of thing. And I learned about myself that this is something I can get through, and my grades don't make me, you are not morally better or worse because your grades are good. And I did retake the class, and I got an A in it. So this is my comeback story. I got 100% on the final. So just say. So that's my story, and being able to say like, hey, I got over this major thing that I thought was gonna end. It was life ending, right? Not life ending. World ending. Does that make it better? World ending really did make me a stronger individual for that, and I understood way more like about my success, who I am as a person, and how to do a little bit of introspection about why these two things were so tied together. But this is definitely something that I encourage you to, if you've gone through a major challenge, to step back and kind of look at what you have, right? What are your strengths, and how are you able to get through this? And remember that you have people who support you too. Okay, so what does success look like to you? I'm asking the group.
I guess the way I think about it for like the long term success for me, like being able to get a job in my field post graduation, especially because I'm in pharmacy, and I've heard it's getting quite oversaturated. So that would be like success to me.
Right, so like hitting some of your like major life goals.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think like recognition from like a coworker, or like recognition from someone who's like more senior to me in my job would definitely be like success for me. Like when they say I've done it, I'll know I've done it.
Yeah, so like outward, like vindication. That
Yeah.
You got this. All right. To me, it looks like failure. This is a quote from this that really resonated with me from, as I mentioned, I attended the Society of Women Engineers conference earlier this year, and the keynote, Sharon Hong, was pretty high up in her company that she worked for, and she said, success looks like failure. And I resonate with this because being able to reach my goals and being able to find what I've liked, my career, to live in a city that I liked, to find friends that mean a lot to me, looked like failing sometimes. Being able to fail, get back up again, and walk away with things that you've learned. Like I'm strong because I have these strengths, or I'm here because I was able to get over this major hump, for example. So success to me looks like failure. And I'm going to end this presentation with a very, very meaningful quote. Oh. Oh no, there's an ad! Oh no! I think it makes it better, honestly.
More customization,
the ad.
more time, more
Freaking YouTube, man. Please,
growth.
help. Okay, I guess we have to watch the ad. I'm going to make, we're listening to the song. Why are there 2 ads?
To every corner of the site.
I'll be able to see it when it always puts it with
It's like pausing.
Limited unique vision.
I think this makes it better.
30-second ad.
Why is this the longest ad ever? Well,
Hours of
yeah, this is kind of awkward, man.
designed to perform.
Yeah, like, are we?
Yesterday, YouTube, I don't know, a while ago, if you don't skip the first one, I always do the double ad. For me, at least.
Less hassle.
Okay, I want to listen. I'm making it. We are listening to the song. We're not listening to the whole song, but we're listening to the song.
Next opportunity. Take all of this.
Oh, no, there's another ad.
Should I end the slideshow? Wait, hold on, let me do
Yeah.
this. Oh,
Oh no, we have to watch the ad over again.
we might have to. Wait, hello? Hello? No? Okay, anyways, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're not, I feel like it's gonna make us watch another. Okay, anyways.
Oh, it's playing.
Hey!
Let's go. And you know what? If you get knocked down, you gotta get up and get I'm actually crying right now. Anyways, I'm sorry for that, but thank you for bearing with me. And thank you for listening to my presentation. This is my email and my LinkedIn. I'm being very serious when I say feel free to reach out to me for anything if you have any questions about your career, about how to play a YouTube video automatically, how to get free ads. Just let me know. So feel free to take a picture, anything. And back to Jeremy.